What up, guys? Your boy Quake back with a brand new episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast, number 272, powered by Golden Eagle Energy Drink. They're sponsoring all of Season 4, so give them some love at drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. Get yourself a 24-pack of the most amazing energy drink of all time, Golden Eagle Energy Drink. Shout out to them. Let's get into it, and we're going to start out immediately with someone who had a lot of buzz when he first came out, who was co-signed by one of the biggest Southern rappers, period, who had every opportunity to be a superstar, or at least a star, and that's OJ Da Juiceman. If you don't know who the hell OJ Da Juiceman is, well, he was signed, or at least was working with, I don't know if he was officially signed, but he was working with Gucci Mane a lot back in like 2006, 2007, 2008, even 2009, around those years. And he had a lot of buzz, at least in the South, surrounding his name. And it's unfortunate what I'm about to start reading right now, because this guy had a lot of opportunity, a lot of potential, and just never really utilized it the way he should have. Well, but, shit happens. Some people you can't control. You try to help them out as much as you can, and things like this happen. So let's go over the article, what I'm talking about. OJ Da Juiceman has been arrested on drug trafficking and gun charges after leading police on a car chase. According to TMZ, OJ, real name Otis Williams Jr., was flagged for speeding on March 4th in Coweta County, Georgia, and initially refused to pull over, leading police officers on a short chase. The rapper, best known for his 2008 hit, Make the Trap Say, "Ay," eventually ceded. Upon searching his vehicle, cops found cocaine and a 9mm handgun in his possession. The 42-year-old was then booked on charges of cocaine trafficking, possession with intent to distribute, possession of a firearm, obstruction of justice, evidence tampering, and eluding police. OJ has been held in custody ever since with no bond. His next court date is currently scheduled for December 25th, 2024. Following the news of the arrest, Juicy J called for his fellow rappers' release, writing on X, "Free the legend OJ Da Juiceman." Well, if you look at the photos, man, he looks doesn't really look that good, man. These photos got him kind of looking crazy, man. But this guy, OJ Da Juiceman, at one point, if you remember, if you were paying attention at all, had the best opportunity to blow up and become a superstar, or at least a star. I'm not going to say superstar. Superstar is like Drake, and at least a star in hip hop. The best way possible. Like, somebody that's already established is setting you up and trying to push you, and everybody wants to hear your music, and you don't want to do it. And I remember Gucci Mane speaking on this, and he said, listen, some people, they just want to be in the streets, and that's it. You can't get them out of it no matter what, no matter how much money. In the streets, they're already making money. So imagine, the streets, you're making money with whatever you're doing, selling drugs, selling guns, whatever you're doing in the streets, right? You're making a lot of money. Let's just say you're making $100,000 a week. And then you got to transition into this legal business, which is rap. And all of a sudden, you're a new rapper, so you're not really making the same money you were making in the streets, right? You're making $100,000 in the streets a week. And this rap stuff you're starting at like $2,000-$3,000 a week. Or sometimes nothing, really, depending on who it is. With Gucci Mane setting you up, I'm sure he at least was getting paid like $5,000 a show. So he's probably making like $10,000-$15,000 a week. I don't even know how much he was making in the streets, but let's just throw out $100,000, right? Let's just throw out a number that would question whether I should leave the streets or not. Let's just say that. So $100,000 a week he's making in the streets, that's $400,000 a month. Let's just say he's rapping, he's only making $40,000 a month, right? Just to make this math simple, he's getting 2 shows a week, $5,000 a show. You look at the numbers and you're like, why would I leave the streets when I'm, making all this insane money and become a rapper? Like, I don't care about being a rapper. But most people that come from the streets aren't realizing, hey, this is legal money. This isn't illegal money. This is legal money. But some people don't like the fame. Maybe they don't like the music that much. OJ had a lot of anticipation when it comes to his music. And Gucci said it was just a struggle to get him in the studio. It was a struggle to constantly, get him out of the streets from doing street stuff, and just constantly trying to get him in the studio and get him out of that situation. But I'm sure he regrets it now, man, after all these years. I mean, why would you, and he's been arrested quite a few times. Like it's not the first time, but it's like somebody who had this huge potential and just throws it down the drain for nothing but, ignorant, stupid stuff. And what was I going to say? It just slipped my mind. There was somebody else with the same type of. Oh, I think Cameron was mentioning that about Joel Santana, about having to ask him to come to studio constantly, and he was constantly going out and partying, and But there's a lot of artists there's a lot of artists above the artists that they signed that have these type of stories. That, hey, it's a struggle to get this guy to do something, and eventually you just give up because it's like, why am I caring more about your life and your career than you are? So with OJ Da Juiceman situation, looks like he's not even gonna see any type of trial or court date. He's got no bond, so he's going to be locked up till December 25th, 2024. That's a pretty long ways away, basically the rest of this year. And yeah, man, going over his let's go over his thing a little bit, his catalog a little bit. And he, 2006 to about 2010, that's when he was really blowing up and doing his thing. And he had a bunch, I remember that Superman High in the club. I guess Superman High. He was doing a track with R. Kelly, which I know R. Kelly gets a bad name about, but that record's fire. Did songs with Jada Kiss, Gucci, all these people had the hype, but just never took his career serious, man. That's the unfortunate thing about this. But we'll keep our eye out on this, and hopefully, things, once he gets out, man, things change for the better. Obviously, you can't change someone's ways, man. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. Next, this news that came out was, I had no idea about I wasn't really paying attention to the situation, but this guy is a huge, huge artist, mainly overseas, Jamaican. The only reason I know about him is because of Tony Yayo, to be honest with you. He mentioned him a lot. I think he did some songs with him. I don't remember what the actual thing, but this person had a lot of affiliations with G-Unit here and there. So let's go over the article. Vybez Kartel has a reason to celebrate as a judge in Jamaica has overturned his long-standing murder conviction. According to BBC, the appeal has been made official as of Thursday, March 14th, after a Privy Council in London concluded that one of the jurors in the case has been bribed and as such should not have been on his jury. A high court in Jamaica has yet to decide whether the dancehall legend's case will be tried again, but as of this writing, the dancehall superstar has been freed pending the outcome of the retrial. Over the summer, Vybez Kartel was granted the right to go before the Privy Council, though he was originally scheduled to go sometime next month. He was heard alongside his co-defendants Sean Storm, Kiera Jones, and Andre St. John, who were all given license alongside Vybez in 2014 for the murder of promoter Cleve Lizard Williams. The Privy Council, much like the United States Supreme Court, is the highest court in the United Kingdom, which governs Great Britain, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and all the Commonwealth countries. If the Privy Council has denied Vybez Kartel a bid for freedom, he would have remained in prison until the sentence of life imprisonment with a minimum 32 and a half years. Last February, Vybez Kartel petitioned to go before the Privy Court to plead his case, but that petition was denied, according to Loop News. Vybez Kartel also had a terrible time in prison since he was sentenced 10 years ago, so much so, in fact, that his family pleaded for the medical intervention back in May. Lisa Evers of Fox 5 spoke to the Jamaican artist's attorney Isat Buchman, who revealed the terrible news. Mr. Palmer's illness is actually life-threatening. Yes, a while ago, in danger due to inhumane 23-hour lockdown. That was last year in May. The reason, why this is big is because having a murder conviction overturned is very hard to do. One. Two, obviously he's a dancehall legend. I'm sure once this guy gets out and starts making music again, I wouldn't be surprised if Drake starts to jump on making music with them. The whole music industry, especially in hip hop, has this type of he's got this type of aura around him when it comes to hip hop. I've seen so many people speak about him in a way that I'm just genuinely surprised, even though I don't really know Vybez Kartel's history and music that well, but just from hearing from people speak about him, I'm this guy's got something going on that if he comes out, it's going to be a big, big thing for him. So we'll keep our eye out, and I really want to get more into, I might do a documentary on this guy's murder case. I'm just curious as to what happened, and club promoter Border Cleve Lizard Williams. Yeah, I gotta look into this. I don't really. I'm way uneducated on this. So interesting news, and we'll keep an eye out and see what happens. Continuing on, Lil Wayne, man. This is another story of, I don't know about misinformation, just misleading a little bit. But, a lot of people were doing this when COVID hit. A lot of people were filing for money, for government assistance. And unfortunately, a lot of people were lying, and a lot of people ended up getting caught lying. And some people were serving time for doing that. What's that guy, the singer? I forget his name, but he got caught. He did like a year, 2 years. This other lady in Miami got caught. She's doing a lot of time. So, if you're going to take money from the government, do it properly, do it for the reason that you're doing it. But everybody has, scamming ways. But Lil Wayne, I don't think, it's just interesting that he took money from the government, because Lil Wayne's at a level where, the amount he took, I don't think is really significant for Wayne. Unless Wayne's just not managing his money properly. But this amount of money, like for Lil Wayne, shouldn't be that much. But let's go over the article. Lil Wayne is being called out for his use of marijuana despite his application for a $9 million SBA loan during the pandemic, saying otherwise. On Monday, March 11th, Business Insider published a piece that looked into the 2021 loans granted to not only Weezy, but other artists like Post Malone as well. The publication got their hands on the documents by filing a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit against the SBA. Both artists assured that their respective touring companies were a drug-free workplace, which was necessary in order to receive the grants they went on to receive. But with Wayne being open about his use of marijuana, BI's Business Insider feels this was fraudulent and wanted answers from the SBA. In an emailed response following the story's initial publishing, the SBA said that the drug certification was fairly narrow. They said it didn't cover personal actions of people like Wayne or Post or any drug use outside the period from March 2020 to June 2022. However, they are still looking to some of the loans they paid out. They said this: the SBA's process of monitoring and auditing of grant receipts is actively ongoing. To date, about $40 million has been returned from the SVOG grantees, and additional files have been referred for ongoing criminal investigation or civil recovery, the agency said. To date, none of the recoveries relate to drug-free certifications. Yeah, this is another one of those things where, details get misconstrued. I don't know why Business Insider was really wanting to get this information that badly. But my whole question out of this is, why would Wayne, I can understand Post Malone because he's not very new of an artist, but he still has like strides to go. Why would Lil Wayne need $9 million from the SBA? Now, here's what people are going to throw at me, right? They're going to say, well, Quake, they took this money and don't have to pay it back. Why wouldn't you take $9 million and not pay it back? That's the difference, guys. SBA, you have to pay back. SBA is a loan. That's a small business administration. That's a loan, a government loan. The ones that you don't have to pay back is the PPP loans, the triple P loans, the Paycheck Protection Program loans. This is not that. So if you're thinking, oh, wait, Quake, why wouldn't you take $9 million and not have to pay it back? That's not what this was. This was an SBA loan. They're two totally different things. The Paycheck Protection Program, that is a lot stricter because you don't have to pay it back, and they will literally hunt you down if you didn't use the money for employees in your business. Which I don't understand why, at that point, if I had at the time I didn't have a business that was big enough to be able to apply for a PPP loan, because I would apply for it. Because if I had employees, I don't know, 10 employees, right? And I could get a PPP loan, not even a loan, it's just money. Like, why wouldn't I? And I would give it to the employees. Like, I would tell them, hey, you guys are getting bonuses. We're still going to be working, but you guys are going to get bonuses. Like, you guys are going to get paid more. So let's get into it. Let's get things going. Why would you take the money and then do something else with it? Now, I would potentially also, at the time, let's say 2020, I didn't start the podcast till end of 2020. So let's just say the loan PPP was coming out in June of 2020. I took it. Then I would take that money and start a podcast with it, or I would do something else and start a second business where I can make more money. But I don't know why people were taking the money and buying cars and buying houses and buying luxurious things, and like, you're just stupid. They're gonna ask you, where the fuck did the money that we don't get back, the money that we know we're not going to get back, go? That's like the worst one that you want to scam. You want to try, if you're going to try to scam the money, go to the SBA side of it and, you know, say, hey, this, and this, I'm going to use the money for this and use it for something else. Do that if you're going to do that. But if you're going to be doing stupid shit, like just don't even take loans if you're not going to use it for the purpose that's supposed to be. You know, if you want to take loans and use it for whatever purpose you want, take a personal loan out. And there you go. You could do whatever you want with that money. But my whole thing about this is why did Lil Wayne need $9 million? Wayne makes $9 million, I'm sure, easily in probably a couple months. Not even that. I'm sure probably more. Let me check Lil Wayne's net worth. I know he's making, because he gets a cut out of everything, at least not until now, but everything Nicki, Wayne, Tyga makes. And I know Birdman was doing a bunch of other things. Lil Wayne claims he's not even close to his $160 million net worth. May fire his agent. Honestly, I'm not gonna let everybody know now. When you go check the motherfucking know what it should be saying. It's crazy. I don't even have a cent close to that shit. That's funny. I don't even have a cent close to that. So maybe Wayne, you know, maybe the money because of the Birdman situation didn't really go well for him. But I'm just genuinely surprised when I see like artists like Lil Wayne, Post Malone. Like these SBA loans, I think it's literally Small Business Administration. Is Lil Wayne a small business? No. Neither is Post Malone. Neither is any other celebrity at the level that they're at. They're not small businesses. They're fucking empires. Like Lil Wayne is an empire. His catalog is forever going to bring in millions and millions of dollars even after he passes away. Same with Post Malone. Now he's built a catalog that's going to bring in millions and millions forever until he passes away, or even after he passes away. Yeah, that was the interesting part about this article, is the fact that he took that loan. But we'll keep our eye on this and see what happens with the lawsuit. Yay, Kanye West. We're going to talk about the new interview that he did, Ty Dolla $ign and Kanye did with Big Boy. And I want to talk about a few things, a lot of key moments that I really was intrigued by in the interview. And, you know, I've taken, to be honest with you, I've taken a great liking to Kanye West, which is surprising to me because I've never really been a huge Kanye West fan. I never really cared to pay attention to him, I guess. But over these past couple of years, which is very odd, right? You would think after all the stuff he's been saying and all the antics and stuff, you would think I'd be even more away from him. But I just enjoy the way he thinks sometimes. Some of the things I'm not saying I agree with everything he says. I never agree with anybody 100%, and neither should you. Never agree 100% with what somebody says or thinks. That's not the right thing to do. Now, could you agree with somebody with a lot of things they say? Yeah, but 100% never. So there's a lot of things I disagree with, and even in this interview, there's some things that he said that I disagree with, but I think Kanye is he feels free, like he's just his own person. And I like the approach of, hey, I'm going to do it on my own. And if I get killed doing it, it doesn't matter. I could care less. That could be a reality, which is crazy to say, but you know, it's possible. So over this interview, I want to talk about some of the points that I really liked. You know, Kanye he said in the interview that he wanted to remove curse words from the Vultures album, but Ty Dolla $ign stopped him. One of the things that really intrigued me and kind of showed me where Kanye is at mentally and how his mother's death still affects him to this day. I think his mother dying really, really changed him. It transformed him, whether for the good or better, for the better or worse, not for the good or better, but for the better or worse, it transformed him. And he says in the interview that he was asking his daughter, North, about, you know, what does she feel about a certain song? And he's like, I ask her these things because sometimes I feel like my mother's speaking through her, which is just shows that like he still misses his mom regardless of, you know, everything that's going on. And then there's one part that immediately got people's attention. And Kanye said that he was responsible for influencing Travis Scott, Drake, The Weeknd, and also adds Young Thug and Future to that because of the auto-tune and because of 808s and Heartbreaks. And I know I was going to have a debate with you guys about the 808s and Heartbreaks and, you know, how influential of an album it is. But first, let me play the clip for you guys, and then I'm going to add on more about what Kanye's saying.
I'm the new Steve. I'm not going to be with Tim Cook. You was employed to Steve. I'm Steve. So, and of this music game, I am, but not under Lucian. You're saying I invented every style of music of the past 20 years. I created the genre I created weekend genre, Trav, Drake. You know, I'm going ahead and say, with all love, Future and Thug also, because the Auto-Tune album. 808s, if you think about it, no one think about it. Everybody think about Trav, Weekend, and Drake, but no one thinks about Future and Thug also, the Auto-Tune album. Now, everyone, they added what it was to it, but here's a new genre. It's called Making Your Own Money genre.
So this obviously rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Ebro from Hot 97 even said, this is bullshit, you're capping, like you're not the one to do influence, all this stuff. But Ebro is getting it wrong with some of the stuff he's saying as well. And Kanye kind of overextended himself on the people he says he's influenced. I do like this new genre where he says making your own money, or making your, what does he say? Making your own.
It's called Making Your Own Money.
Yeah, making your own money. And what he means by that is independent. That's the part of the interview that people kind of just go past, because I don't know if it was after this part he says this or before, but he says, hey, if me going this independent route is going to get me killed, then so be it, because I've gotten death threats like crazy. I'm going independent. I'm not relying on a middleman, a record label, nothing. I'm just going to do what I do and release music independently. And people are not going to like that. There's going to be higher ups, people with power that are not going to like that. That I'm taking full control of my music. And here, whether you like Kanye or not, you got to respect that, because that's the route that I've been saying artists should go more. Especially the Drakes, the Kanyes. Set the example. Say, fuck the middleman. Go independent and bring in millions, and you can profit way more money. This is why Kanye's trying to sell the album directly on his website for $20, because it's straight direct to consumer. That if he pull what he's doing, he's pulling it off basically. The streaming, if he doesn't rely on streaming, let's just say he drops the Vultures 2, right? Directly on Yeezy, and he does 300,000 first week, $20 a pop. I don't know what the math on that is, whatever it is. But imagine how much that's going to get people to do the same thing. I know not everybody's going to be able to, because Kanye is Kanye, and not everybody is Kanye at that level, but it's going to inspire people to go more independent. If Drake did that, Drake even says in the interview, he mentions Drake, like, Drake could own a lot more. Drake could be a multi-billionaire if he just said, listen, Universal, I'm not doing the next deal with you. Unfortunately, he signed, I don't know what kind of deal he signed, but it's Universal gave him a lot of money. But regardless, Drake could make more by himself. And does he really need Universal? Is Universal really the label that's pushing him and getting him out there? No, guys. Like, Drake could drop an album right now independently. Everybody go check it out. That's just the reality situation. So I like that portion. Now let's get back to, him influencing. Well, who are the names you mentioned? Travis Scott. I agree with Travis Scott. Even Travis Scott used a lot of portions of Yeezus from 2013 that he dropped. So Travis Scott, I agree with. There's really nobody really debating Travis Scott. Drake did say he's been inspired by Kanye, but he's also been inspired by a lot of different artists as well. He's been inspired by 50 Cent. He said 21 Questions, to see a gangster rap, 21 Questions like that and do it like that was really dope. I got inspired by that. He's mentioned a lot of artists he's been inspired by. So Drake, yeah, you could say Drake a little bit too. The Weeknd, I don't know. The Weeknd I'm a little iffy on, because to me, I just don't really see that. And as far as Young Thug and Future, I don't know about that either. He is saying the auto-tune, making it cool. But we got to remember, the person that brought it back and made it really, really cool was T-Pain. Let's not get that twisted. T-Pain with Epiphany, or how the fuck do you call that album title, his first album? Epiphany, I think it's called. And with that album, that brought back auto-tune. Oh, it wasn't, my bad. That was the second album. That was the one with Bartender and stuff. My bad. I totally apologize. It's Overturned Sanga. That album had auto-tune on it. And yeah, it wasn't the most successful album of all time. It did have hits on it, though. It had I'm in Love with a Stripper, She Ride, She Wrote. Love that song. I'm about to go listen to this music back again. And I'm Sprung, She Got Me. But it wasn't like that, T-Pain at the time really wasn't like big when he dropped this album. Kanye did it at a point in his life where, like I mentioned in my previous podcast, Kanye did it at a point where all eyes were on him and what is he going to do next. He just beat out 50, who was the biggest selling hip-hop artist, period, at that time. 50 was number one. Kanye just beat him with Graduation, and now all eyes are on him. Plus, he lost his mom, broke up with his fiance. All eyes are on him. What is he going to do next? And he decides to do an auto-tune type of album with the 808s in it. that definitely changed it. But that had, even Kanye mentioned, a lot of that I got from T-Pain. And then Kid Cudi responded to a lot of stuff and said he got a lot of ideas from 808s from me too. So it's not just Kanye himself, you could say that, but at the end of the day, if Kanye decided to never release 808s and jump outside the box, because we got to remember, when 808s came out, Kanye, even I at the time, was heavily criticizing him. I was like, what is this garbage? I don't want to hear love lockdown, love lock. I was like, what is going on? This is not, I'm like, I could care less about this stuff. But as the years went on, I realized, I was pretty wrong. 808s is a pretty good album. But that's the point, is that Kanye stepped outside of the box when all eyes were on him, and everybody was like, okay, wow, we might not like it right now, but it's slowly started swaying, because what we have to remember as well in this time is Jay-Z was shitting on autotune. Death of autotune. Jay-Z was saying this is garbage. Most artists were like, why the fuck is everybody using autotune? It's garbage, right? T-Pain using it was like the only one that was like tolerated, but more people started using it and people were like, this is garbage. So Jay-Z was trying to get it shut down, but Kanye said, nah, I'm pushing this shit back up and making it cool to do it. So overall, Kanye is kind of right in influence. He did influence a lot of artists. I don't know about those specific names. I can give Travis Scott. I can give Drake. I don't know about Weeknd, Young Thug, and Future. Now, with the 808 sound, yes. In terms of producers, he completely changed the sound of hip-hop with the 808 stuff, because nobody was using the 808 stuff. And that's where Ebro got things wrong, because Ebro from Hot 97, let me see if I can find his Instagram. He posted on his Instagram. On his Instagram, he said this: Soul Samples was Blink the Humble Monster first. Auto-Tune was T-Pain, Talkbox Roger Troutman, and even Teddy Riley. Emo love rap songs was PM Dawn, LL Cool J Common. Who else? Yeah, he did great things, but this is complete bullshit. Now, I get what he's saying. There were people that used things before Kanye, right? That used them before and different styles before. But did they all mix it into one and release it as a project and have the world criticize them, and then eventually people started to take that type of sound? No. So Ebro is missing the whole point of that. Because everybody did it. There was autotune before T-Pain. There was autotune. There was a depression and emo rap talk before all these artists. There used to be those type of artists. There used to be people that would do these type of things. There's nothing on this planet at this point is new. Everybody's just regurgitating things as the years go on. We're going to forget about some things as the years go on. People are going to pass away and die, and then eventually somebody's going to take it, recycle into the system. That's all we are as humans at the end of the day. Right now, we really aren't inventing new. There is some things here and there, but it's a rare occurrence because we've lived on this planet Earth for a long ass time now. Now with AI and technology, yes, there's going to be new things coming out, but we're just talking musically. It's very hard to invent something brand spanking new. Is there going to be a style? Yes, you're going to be taken from different things, but that's the point of it, is you to take from a bunch of people, combine it into one, and deliver something that's like a whole different thing. So when Ebro's saying that, I disagree with that. But one thing that was really interesting, and I hope this is not true, one thing that was really interesting is Johnny Shipes, who signed Nipsey Hussle back in 2009 for a label deal. It just ended up not going right. Commented on Ebro's post and revealed something about Nipsey's verse on the Vultures album. And I hope this is not true. If this is true, Kanye, I really lost a lot of respect for you, because this is the parts where I don't agree with Kanye. This is the parts where I hate about Kanye. And I'm using hate because he even says something more about religion down the line that I don't like. So first, this is what Johnny Shipes commented on Ebro's post. He says, he complains about everyone doing him dirty. He used Nipsey's vocals on his new album and didn't clear with his estate or work out a deal. Nipsey has kids to feed. Dude doesn't care about anyone but himself. 100 emoji, good talk. Now that's going to be fucked up if that's true. If Johnny Shipes is telling the truth on that, which I'm sure he knows, because a lot of the Nipsey vocals and stuff, he has a lot to do with it too. Because earlier on, he did sign Nipsey, like I said. So if he took those vocals, didn't clear it with Black Sam, Nipsey's brother, that's going to be some problems. But I mean, wouldn't they have some issues and actually remove the song off the stream platforms? So I don't know about that, but I'm just I I took that Nipsey feature a lot different when he said that. So continuing on from the interview, that rubbed people the wrong way. He talks about his relationship with Jesus, right? And he says he has issues with Jesus because he's like, I prayed and he didn't show up. I'm not going to get super religious, but I'm going to play the clip and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about this.
At one point, we hear, and this is all you. We hear, Jesus is king. We hear this, but that's all you. Then there's sometimes you just want to say, man, not fuck it, but you just want to say, man, this is what I'm feeling right now. Are you in that space where you're comfortable enough to say, this is where I am right now? I'm still a man of God. Jesus still is king, but this is vultures right now. This is where I am.
It is, but I have my issues with Jesus. There's a lot of stuff I went through that I prayed and I didn't see Jesus show up. So I had to put my experience in this world, my experience with my children, my experience with other people, my experience with my account, my experience with my brand, and my experience with the level of music that I was dealing with in my own hands. Like a lot of times I just feel like in our society in America, people, Christians, we're depend on Jesus so much that we won't put the word in ourselves. And the main thing that really that I don't rock with is like, it's just always like, I'm gonna pray for you. And it's just like, you can actually physically do something yourself too, more than just pray. And we're so in this mentality that's all that needs to happen, but we ain't praying our way out of prison. We ain't praying our way out of the abortion clinics. We ain't praying our way to get our land back that was always ours after gentrification, after the Harlem Renaissance and Black Wall Street was burned to the ground. Them prayers ain't working. We have to apply actual physical building partnerships, and it don't start unless we could really be real with each other and say, this is what I did, this is what I did. Like, I mean, look at this. I know I'm not gonna third rail your interview, but look at the power of what happened when me and Kyrie was on the same page. See, that's what's scary. But what they do is they put us each in a silo and say, your grandmother gonna lose her crib, and this gonna, you know how many threats we've been dealt with? And I didn't pray my way through them threats either. I had to get up and do it myself. I had so much to do, I ain't had time to pray. So that's where my issue is, and look at where I'm at today.
So without getting too much into religion, because everybody has their own viewpoints and what they believe and what they don't believe. The way I view it, I'm Muslim. I'm practicing Ramadan right now, so it's kind of interesting. I'm actually reading the Quran right now, so interesting that this kind of topic came up, and I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. We believe in Allah, and Allah is God. Jesus is a disciple of God. You're praying for something from Jesus, God, whatever you want to call it. And you're wanting something in this life. How do you demand something in this life when you know that you're supposed to serve in this life, humble and gratitude towards God, and in the afterlife you'll be rewarded? It's not about this life, because this life isn't perfect. It's the afterlife that's perfect, right? That's the message in pretty much every religion, is that you become humble, you become servant to God, and in the afterlife your life will become perfect. So right now Kanye is wanting Jesus to answer his prayers right now, here, and everything to be perfect here. And I know it's frustrating, right? You're like, why am I believing in this entity or thing, and I don't even know if it's real, and it's not getting my prayers answered? But that's the whole point of it. You got to be humble. You got to serve, regardless of what you think is being answered or not. Jesus might be answering all your prayers in a different way. You could be driving in a car and not get in an accident. You might miss an accident from 5 seconds of driving this way. There's literally, we go out every single day, and there could be incidents where we get saved from certain things that we don't even realize. Don't we think that's something, some type of spiritual high power? But whatever you believe in, I know some people believe in God, some people don't. Some people, don't really have much of an opinion on it. I'm not too opinionated on it. But I think this is I don't want to say this because I don't know Kanye's mom, but I think Kanye's mom wouldn't approve of this type of talk. even though I have for me to say that would be, but his mom was very religious and instilled a lot of religion in him. This is something that he shouldn't be saying, because you release the album Jesus is King, you love him, all that, and then because some prayers don't get answered, dude, you're a multi-millionaire. I know you got a lot of problems in your life, but at the end of the day, there are people literally starving, getting killed, lots of things happening right now in the world. And that's type of stuff. I know everybody has their own problems and stuff in life, so at different levels, it affects people differently. But I disagree with this portion. I disagree with the portion of what we talked about earlier about the Nipsey Hussle thing. If he actually did that, I disagree with that part. And then I really am inspired because after I watched the interview, I tweeted, I was like, this new Kanye interview really inspired me. I'm inspired about the fact that Kanye wants to go independent and do his thing, and the way he talks about how aggressive he is at doing that. And he's like, if I get killed doing it, it doesn't even matter. So that was really, really inspiring to me. And I think Kanye can get things under control and get him, like, Kanye just needs something down packed down the middle to get things done. With Ty Dolla $ign coming with him, here's the thing with Ty Dolla $ign too. I've never been a fan of Ty Dolla $ign, but I'm actually enjoying what he's doing on this album, which is like very hard for me to accept, because I'm not even a fan of Ty Dolla $ign. That's the crazy thing. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the interview. That's kind of my thoughts on it, and I just wanted to talk about it because it was interesting topics, and Kanye hasn't done an interview in at least in a minute, and I just wanted to hear about this album and see where his thoughts were at with it. I also wanted to add on, I was about to say continuing on, but I also want to add on Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi talked about what Kanye said about the 808s. And Kid Cudi responded and basically posted a Wikipedia link and said Kid Cudi's sound is what inspired and led Kanye West to create his cathartic 808s and Heartbreak, with West later stating that he and Cudi were the originators of the style, kind of like Alexander McQueen is the fashion. Everything else is just Zara and H&M. West also complimented Cudi by saying his writing is just so pure, natural, and important. So, yeah, Cudi just saying, hey, with all this stuff, it's I had a lot big thing to do with it too, which is cool, man. That's obviously fire. Boosie jumped in on this Kanye West thing, and Boosie just, I don't know, man. Boosie just be talking about anything, man. He just jumped in on this. So the same thing he said about Eminem, he basically said about Kanye, and he said this. He posted the clip of Kanye, the quote saying where Kanye, I invented every genre. He said, I invented every style of music, which in the past 20 years, which I disagree with Kanye as well. But this is what Boosie had to say on Instagram. He said, not all genres, not every style, not Boosie music. You can't relate to nothing I rap about. Art. What is he writing? You can't relate to nothing I rap about your music. Nobody listens to Kanye in the projects or in the trenches. I'm going ahead and say it. My people do not relate to Bro, nobody, Boosie, man, he don't give a fuck. All he cares about the trenches and who listens in the trenches, bro. I ain't gonna lie, it's funny, man. That is hilarious. But I just wanted to talk about that quick and just mention it because Boosie just be saying some random shit, man. Be making no damn sense sometimes, but Boosie, shout out to Boosie, man, killing them Vlad TV interviews. That's what he's known for a lot right now, which, hey, it's working for him, so why not? Before we continue, I want to give a shout out to Golden Eagle for sponsoring this podcast. Yes, if it wasn't for Golden Eagle, this podcast wouldn't be possible. If you're looking for an energy drink that doesn't tear a hole in your pocket, Golden Eagle energy drink is the one you want to get. Golden Eagle has the smoothest taste with no aftertaste. You don't get acid reflux when you drink it, and you will save a lot of money. So check out Golden Eagle at drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. The link is in the description below. And how do you think this podcast would be possible without me having energy to do it? Come on, guys. You guys got to remember this. I need energy to do this stuff, man, because there's a lot of crazy topics. So look how smooth this thing sounds. Look at it. Oh, my God. It's fresh. Look at that Golden Eagle. Look at the can. It's so beautiful, too, man. Look at that. That's so fresh, man. So fresh. Golden Eagle energy drink. Go to the link description below. That's drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. Let's continue the episode. Continuing on R. Kelly, man. R. Kelly is deciding to sue the United States. Yes, you heard me right. Sue the United States. Why is he suing them? Let's go over the article. R. Kelly has sued to get his commissary funds back. They're fucking up his commissary, man. You can't be doing that to R. Kelly, man. After they were allegedly taken by the United States government to satisfy a judgment against him. You can't sue because of that, man. You're getting sued from other people that need their money. Money by Monday. Shout out to 50. According to court documents obtained by Hip Hop DX, a hearing on the matter is scheduled for Monday, March 18th, with Assistant United States Attorney Kayla Bengsing representing the United States. The oral arguments, that's wild, the oral arguments will be live streamed, and the link to the live stream can be found here. In March 2023, the Illinois Supreme Court ruled Heather Williams was entitled to access the disgraced singer's label fund, which was reportedly valued at $1.5 million in 2020, according to Billboard, before Midwest Commerce Funding, a property manager that won its own separate $3.5 million ruling against Kelly over unpaid rent on a Chicago studio. Damn, $3.5 million. The following August, U.S. District Judge Ann Donnelly signed an order demanding that Kelly and his label Universal Music Group turn over more than $500,000 in royalties. The order, which was signed on Wednesday, August 23rd, previously demanded the Ignition singer turn over $28,000, which was in his prison canteen. The defendant is appealing his conviction and the government's seizure of his substantial Bureau of Prisons commissary account to satisfy the financial penalties imposed in the case. Read the announcement accompanying the live stream link, which also confirmed that each side will have 10 minutes to argue their point. So he basically had $28,000 in commissary. That's a lot of money, man, in commissary. Shit, he's living good in there. But R. Kelly just needs to, like, if R. Kelly's really upset about all this shit, man, you owe a lot of people a lot of money. It sucks, and the chance of you winning a lot of these situations is very slim. Just start paying. Pay everything, get it out the way, and that way if you ever see the light of day, which I doubt you will, at least you'll have money coming in, because your music is forever going to bring you in money, whether it's only $100,000 a year, whether it's $50,000 a year, whether it's $200,000 a year. I mean, he had $1.5 million in 2020 accumulated over his music. $1.5 million. And mind you, after 26 years, I believe it's 26 or 28, around there, all the original masters go back to the artist. That's every deal in music. So he's going to get all the original masters of a lot of his classics, like Remix to Ignition, Hot and Fresh Out the Kitchen, all those records that are popping, that still do streams and still people listen to. Those are going to continuously bring him money regardless, especially if he owns all the masters back to them. So, you know, that's $1.5 million in 2020. It's been 4 years now. He's probably made another million at least, and that's going to be paid to somebody else, and then eventually the rest is going to be paid, and then eventually he'll be clear free out of everything, which sucks. But, I mean, fighting everything and hiring lawyers and spending more money, you know, it's going to cause more issues, man. You took the L, keep it moving, and it is what it is. I don't know why I give a fuck about R. Kelly, because I really don't give two shits about him. He's a horrible human being. Yeah, we'll keep our eye on this, man. There's a live stream on it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch it. I don't know when it's started, but yeah, tomorrow is a live stream on it, apparently. Or at least when you're listening to this podcast, actually today. So by the time you listen to it, it's probably going to be already out there. But yeah, we'll keep our eye out. Bruno Mars, speaking of money and owing, I just wanted to talk about this. I know Bruno Mars isn't hip-hop, but I'm just dumbfounded at this. Bruno Mars has allegedly racked up an enormous $50 million. Yes, you heard me right. $50 million. We talking about Chelsea Clinton? That's Rush Hour 1, maybe 2. Shout out to Chris Tucker. Yeah, $50 million gambling debt in Las Vegas while performing his much acclaimed residency. Mars has been performing his residencies in Las Vegas almost nonstop since 2016 after signing a multi-year partnership with MGM Resorts. The finesse singer, who is a known gambler, has now reportedly gotten into debt with the same company that has been paying him to perform. According to News Nation, Mars' gambling losses have been heavy, and he has amounted a debt that outpaces what he's getting paid. A source allegedly told the outlet MGM basically owns him. He makes $90 million a year off of the deal he did with the casino, but then he has to pay back his debt. That's how is he, if it outpaces, if he's making, but by the way, $90 million a year is fucking astronomical number. If he's got $50 million, he's making $90 million a year. That's nothing. Unless he's just spending $50 million even if he's spending $50 million, that leaves him with $40 million. I don't know. There's taxes and a bunch of shit that goes into this, so maybe he is outpacing it. Bruno Mars has allegedly been an avid gambler since his teenage years and once spoke about his early days playing cards. He said, I used to be like a loudmouth, the guy, people who would want to take his money. If you do get them loose, if you do get them to lose, they're out for you. They're gunning for you, Mars said at the time. And that's when they're weak. And that's when you jump or pounce on them. He also claimed that he was 19 the first time he visited a casino. He said, I remember my first bet, my hand was shaking, and a guy called me out on it and embarrassed me. You got to lose. You just have to lose to win to understand. Yeah, he's definitely an addict. He needs to call that number, that gambling number that they always provide when you're doing these like gambling type of things. Going on the article, it says the residency has been attended by over 120,000 people and grossed more than $53 million, becoming the largest gross in MGM record residency. Interesting. But I mean, that's a problem, man, and money isn't going to fix that problem. If he's constantly, and when's the last time this guy had like a hit record? I haven't heard Bruno Mars in a minute. I might be tripping though. Last time he had one was 2016. Besides the Evening of Silk Sonic, which is the Aneurysm pack, that was a huge thing. That was in 2021 though, which is fairly recently. But he's got a new project needs to drop though, for real, because at that pace, like you're making all that money, all that time, that's gonna take a fat minute, man. Get on the music, Bruno Mars. Pay that damn debt off. $50 million. We think you got Chelsea Clinton? Yeah, but we'll keep our eye on this and see. Dr. Dre, I wanted to talk about this interview he also did. And he stopped by, did an interview with James Corden on Sirius XM's The Life of Mine. And he opened up about his recent health struggles and what he learned from being in the worst pain he ever felt. This interview went live Thursday, March 14th. And he reflected on his brain aneurysm back in 2021. And he said this: it definitely makes you appreciate being alive, that's for sure. It's something you can't control, it just happens. During those 2 weeks, I had 3 strokes, he said, before admitting that he didn't act on his symptoms with urgency at first. He continued, said, I got up and went about my day, and I thought I could lay down and take a nap. My son and female friend were like, no, we need to take you to the hospital. Next thing you know, I'm blacking out, I'm in and out of consciousness, and I end up in the ICU. I was there for 2 weeks. I'm hearing doctors come in and saying, you don't know how lucky you are. I asked questions about what I could have done to prevent this. No one could give me an answer. Back in 2022, Los Angeles legend talked about his condition. Yeah, that was a while ago. But, yeah, so 3 strokes. I'm just glad that he's here, man, because I don't even know brain. I'm not a doctor. I don't know brain aneurysms and stuff like that or what causes it. This could have been something very fatal. So I'm glad that he, I'm just surprised that more media outlets didn't cover this. They covered what Dr. Dre said about Eminem and saying that Eminem is the greatest MC rapper of all time, whether he's white or not. That's what Dr. Dre said in the interview. And I know that's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. And Dr. Dre is going to ride by his artist, obviously. So, I mean, he does kind of have a bias, but that's what Dr. Dre feels. That's why when I asked Benzino, like, what do you think about the Dr. Dre, like, being, the one who kind of put out Eminem, he never really had anything to say about Dr. Dre. He's always respected him. So, but that's Dr. Dre's viewpoint, is that Eminem is the greatest rapper of all time. So that portion of the interview is what got a lot of headlines and people talking. And I wish it would have been this portion where he had suffered 3 strokes. That would have been more important to be talking about than, but I know it's clickbait and people are going to want to comment and be like, nah, Dr. Dre's wrong. Fuck Dr. Dre, or whatever the hell they want to say. But that's how 50 and Dr. Dre feel about him. He's the greatest rapper of all time. Doesn't matter whether he's white, black, it is what it is. So that's interesting in itself, but that got a lot of people riled up. Shout out to Dr. Dre, though, for real. Check out the interview if you haven't checked it out. It's James Corden's This Life of Mine, which I don't know why he's doing an interview with James Corden, man. Hop on something bigger, bro. Like, hop on. I know James Corden is huge. Don't disrespect to him. I just want Dr. Dre to go on, like, shit, come on to the Diverse Mentality podcast. But go on anything. Come on, man. Rap Radar podcast would be dope, actually. Breakfast Club, Drink Champs, Diverse Mentality podcast. I heard this guy, Quake, is really good at his work. He knows your history. Who else, man? A lot of people, man. Go on $1 million worth of game. Something, man. Big Boy again, I guess, if you feel safe going to Big Boy. But I know Dre doesn't really like to travel. You got to go outside of Los Angeles to do a lot of these interviews. But shit, people will come to you. Dr. Dre interview? Shit. People ain't got to come. You ain't got to come to us, man. We'll come to you. Dr. Dre interview? Psh, different story. But I would also like Chameleonaire to do a lot more interviews, man. Imagine if Chameleonaire got involved in a lot of these interviews. Oh, it'd be amazing, man. Chameleonaire is legend, the GOAT. So, at least to me, one of the best ever. So, yeah, we'll keep our eye out, see if there's any more Dr. Dre interviews. Glad his health is doing really good. New music, let's get into it. Party Next Door dropped Real Woman. Cardi B dropped Enough Miami. Flo Milli dropped Fine Ho Stay, the album. Speaker Knockers, the GOAT album. I don't know how the fuck Speaker Knockers is dropping music. Something's going on, whether they're doing AI music, but Speaker Knockers has been deceased since like 2014. So how is this guy dropping an album 10 years later? Baffles me. I haven't checked it out, but we'll see, I guess. Chief Keef and Mike Will made it, dropped Dirty Nachos, the mixtape. Don Toliver dropped Deep in Water. Trippie Redd dropped Left Wrist, Right Wrist. The Baby dropped Wonder Woman. 42 Doug dropped Walk in Red. And Jay Critch dropped Humble Giant album. Album sales, let's get into it. Ariana Grande debuted at number 1 with a whopping 224,000 sold the first week. Shout out to her. That's really good numbers. Eternal Sunshine is the album. Morgan Wallen's at number 2, One Thing at a Time with 65,000. Noah Khan, Stick Season at number 3 with 49,000. SZA, SOS at number 4 with 46,000. Kanye West, Ty Dolla $ign, Vultures is at number 5 with 45,000. Zach Bryan's self-titled album is at number 6 with 44,000. Taylor Swift, 1989 is at 7 with 41,000. Taylor Swift, Lover is at number 8 with 41,000. Drake, For All the Dogs, number 9 with 40,000. Morgan Wallen, Dangerous, the double album, number 10 with 38,000. Man, when am I going to not see Morgan Wallen and Taylor Swift on this list, bro? It's been, these motherfuckers been on this list for a fat minute. Travis Scott, Utopia, number 11 with 36,000. Going down the list, 21 Savage, American Dream, at number 14 with 32,000. Drake, Take Care, number 33 with 19,000. Nicki Minaj, Pink Friday 2 at number 37 with 18,000. Eminem, Curtain Call, number 42 with 17,000. Metro Boomin, Heroes and Villains, number 43 with 17,000. Yeet, 2093 at number 46 with 17,000. Lil Baby, My Turn, number 48 with 16,000. Kendrick Lamar, Damn at number 49 with 15,000. And Broadway Nostalgia, number 50 with 15,000. Great numbers, man. They're still pushing. Pretty cool. But that's it for today's episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast, powered by Golden Eagle Energy Drink. Get your 24-pack at drinkgoldeneagle.com/DMP. Shout out to them. They're sponsoring all season 4 of the podcast. So shout out to them. I wholeheartedly appreciate them. They've been helping a lot. So please show them support. It'd mean the world to me. Also, Spotify, Deezer, Pocket Cast, YouTube, all that. Stream. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's get these numbers up. Let's get people boosting this damn podcast. I'm going to get some more guests. I got some guests on the list coming up pretty soon here. Really excited to reveal them. And, yeah, all that. Appreciate you guys. Have an amazing night, day, whenever you're listening to this. And peace.